Hey guys, it's Laren here. I just want to feature one of the most amazing newbies into Isagenix. She's not really new anymore, but as we're rolling out these November success stories, I just want to keep bringing you guys like powerful, influential leaders within the company that are just totally paving the way. And this 23-year-old is a little firecracker, and I have been watching her journey and just so pumped to bring her on to interview her. So I want you guys all to meet Sydney Lich. Sydney
Hello.
is 23. She's from Montana, and you're going to hear her story of how she transitioned and moved to La Jolla, California, and how she's been growing a business in Isagenix. But I just want to thank all of you at home for watching this and taking the time, because we know you have a million things you could be doing. So thanks for just like taking like 30 to 45 minutes out of your day to like invest in yourself, to invest in your future and learn from other people. And Sydney, thank you so much for your time, because I know you could be doing a million things or investing into your own team. For all of you guys, we are not financially linked at all, and that's the beauty of this whole company and our one team of Isagenix, is that we all just roll in it for the mission of Isagenix is to truly impact the world. So I love the collaboration of all of us, and I just can't wait to just keep getting to know you better, Sydney, because I think we're all just going to be on this journey together.
I know, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me on. When you asked me, I was like, yes, yes, yes. I adore you. I'm so excited to chat and get to know you better and just go through the Isagenix journey for the next however many years we
Yes.
have left in it. So it's
I
going to be
know, there's so many like just badass young entrepreneurs that I'm like, man, all of us just like collaborating together, like the next like 10 years especially is going to be absolutely amazing.
going to be so powerful. I'm like, every event, I'm like, it just gets better and better the more people I meet in between. It's so much fun.
Yep, I love it. So share with us a little bit like your life before Isagenix. I know you were like more of a health and wellness coach. Like what made you inspired about that? Like what made you go into that? And what was your life like before?
Yeah. So my journey into self-development, Isagenix, finding everything that I have now is really actually started when I was younger. When I was 16 years old, I started to do some bodybuilding competitions. I was competing a lot, and I was in college, just going into college. And I remember a specific day where I was like, I need to make an impact in this world. And it was the day I competed in my last bodybuilding show. I was 21 years old. And I got off of stage, and I remember no one was there. I was in Vegas. I had flown to Vegas from Montana to compete all by myself. I had no coach, no team, literally nothing. And I remember stepping off of stage, and I was like, no one is here to celebrate this with me, because no one really cares. I'm not impacting anybody, except the only thing I'm doing is changing my body and being selfish about me. And so I stood back, and I was like, I'm done competing. I'm going to find a vehicle where I can actually impact lives. And I ended up graduating college, getting my NASM certification, my personal training certification. And I jumped into online training, kind of started my own little business. And it was successful for a short amount of time. And then I realized I was so over leveraged and working so hard around the clock and just stressed out because I had no residual income. I was just, the only time I ever profited was if I was working. And so I was introduced to Isagenix by one of my clients that I had at the time. Her name is Jessica, and she was out in San Diego. And I actually moved that same week that I got introduced to Isagenix. I heard about residual income. I was all in, moved out to California, and just I slowly backed away from the coaching. I really loved it, but I just loved the idea of network marketing and making an impact so much wider, making that ripple just go so much faster through the vehicle that we have over personal training, where I could just touch the people that I knew personally. So that was kind of my journey out to California. And then it just has exploded from there. It's been the most amazing, transformative work ever. So I'm really happy to be out there. And I'm back in the cold. It's snowing right now. I'm like not used to it.
It's cold here in Colorado too.
Yeah. So that's kind of my before Isagenix journey.
Well, and I love that you said that, because it is. I think so many, especially young people right now, everybody is like, I want my own business. I want my online business. I'm going to go create an online brand. And then all of a sudden they're saying the same thing over and over and over to client after client. I was talking to this girl recently that had a fitness. She was doing like fitness coaching and meal planning. And I'm like, okay, but how many times are you saying the same thing over? She's like, all the time. And I'm like, and are you getting referred every time you do those meal plans? And she's like, no. I'm like, so how do you control if that meal plan's going to all of her friends that are not paying for you? And she's like, I can't. I'm like, exactly. Like you're hitting this dead end over and over and over and restarting over every single week.
Right. And people see this like, oh, I can work online, I can be an online coach, but they don't see that not a lot of people come to you. You have to go out and look for those people, and everyone's offering the same thing. So separating yourself is something that's really important to look at as well. And so for me, it's just a no-brainer. Like residual income, having referral marketing in my life has just been like huge. And I just am starting to see the power of it. So it's really exciting.
What was the aha moment that was like, oh, it clicked and you're like, I get it?
Oh, so I remember sitting in my house on the phone with Jessica, and she was telling me about Isagenix and network marketing, and I didn't get it. I didn't get that you could passively make income. Like I was going to be a PE teacher. Like that was my path. That's what I was going to do and for the rest of my life. So hearing about like passive income was just weird. And I remember the sentence she said where I was just like, take my credit card, take my information, sign me up, go. And she said, Sydney, you can either do this and be stuck on the computer for the rest of your life at home and not have the freedom you're looking for, or in 2 years, if you join me, we'll be sitting in Hawaii on the beach having Mai Tais and having all the time freedom that we want. And I was like, well, that's what I actually want. I just didn't know it. And so I remember that was like the moment.
Yeah, I love that, because it's like we're all like ambitious. Like so many people out there are so ambitious. They're wanting to create this. They're like, yeah, I'm creating freedom. I'm creating this, but they really don't truly understand the power of that residual income. So I love that. That's a great example.
And there's like slaves to their computer, their laptops. That's what I was. I was like, I'm getting like income, but I literally have no time still. It's like I'm working a 9 to 5 just from my bed, which isn't much better.
Yeah. Well, and you invested in a value pack, right? You started with a value pack and you had like no money. How much money did you actually have to your name at that point?
So I invested, so I was a week away from moving to California, and I had already bought my plane ticket. I invested all of my money except for $50 into a value pack, which I do not always recommend. Don't put yourself in financial strain, but it was the most intelligent business decision I had ever made. And I just knew it in my gut that it was right. And then it made me work so much harder to make that money back. And I made it back so quick because of that.
And I assume they did, but would Jessica enrolled you?
Jessica enrolled me, yes.
And I assume she did, but did she immediately have you grab a couple people with you and share the opportunity side right away?
Yeah, so I actually introduced my first two people were my clients at the time. And I was like, look, these products are going to give you the results you're looking for. The results speeded up by like 5 times. It was crazy. Yeah. And so their retention increased with me and on the products. And that created that first like snap of residual income. And then my family got on the product. I just became so passionate about them after like 3 days of using them. I was like telling everyone about it. So I was always top down. She always talked about the business first, and the products. I was just like, I don't even care what the products are. Just give them to me and I'll try them. And I love them.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's the cool part is you're very nutrition focused because that was like your job, but at the same time, like you experience financial stress and the power of what this can do. So that's a powerful story to be able to share with other people.
Yes.
So then you moved to La Jolla. Share that experience of like what made you, because that's just a bold move, and it was like I think we all look for those like defining moments, that decision that's like marks the line in the sand that's like I'm changing my life. And I'm assuming that was one of yours. What was that like?
So I actually never said this on any like calls or interviews or anything, but when I moved down, I had no money, and Jessica took me in and let me stay literally in her bed. And then we moved into an apartment a couple months later, and I slept on an air mattress on the floor for a couple months until my dad came down and was like, you got to get a bed. Like you need to like start to build your life here. And so, in the beginning, it was really tough. It was like, I was grinding. I was working so hard, and I was being so coachable. I was following the system that Zach and Eden have created for our team and just really like going after it. And then I was introduced into Zach and Eden's world, and I was instantly like enrolled into that and the vision of like what's possible for my life. I started to read books. I started to realize I could like expand my money mindset. And I just was like constantly intaking audiobooks, podcasts. I worked so hard and just learned so much. And that growth in the beginning set me up for the amount of success that I had in that first year, where I was just like enrolling. but La Jolla is like one of the most beautiful cities in the
So
world.
beautiful.
I feel so blessed to be there, but in the beginning it was like working my way up, and now I'm up in La Jolla and it's so much fun, and
Now you can actually like breathe and sit back a little bit.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. But it is, that's what's so powerful. Like when I quit my job to go full time with this, I gave up. I mean, I've sacrificed everything in my life to make this work. I moved out of my house. I moved into my boyfriend's mom's house. Like I could go on about that, but like I don't think people necessarily see the sacrifices that we put into this to make this go, you know,
Yes.
and that's why it's like you see these people at the top and it's like they deserve every single dollar of that because of the heart, the consistency, the perseverance, the sacrifices, the investment that goes into it is so powerful.
100%. And I hate to like talk about that a lot because I don't want people to feel like they have to struggle, but I decided I just wanted to do Isagenix and I didn't want to do anything else. And so when you're starting a business, there is that grind period where you're working a lot. You're really taking the time. You're on calls all day outside in the heat. You're like going. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing, but it gets easier. And the more work you put in that year, that first year pays off so much.
That's what I was going to ask you too, is like, how many hours do you think you invest into your Isagenix business per week being full-time?
Yeah, so that's the cool thing. The first year I invested a lot of time because a lot of it was just self-development. It was like getting my ish together, like becoming the person I wanted to be and that I want to continue to be. And now this second year, full-time is if I really sit down and work for 4 hours straight, that's like full-time in a day. And that's what it should be. Network marketing is not necessarily meant to be like this 16-hour a day grind. It's meant to be really short and concise and impactful in that amount of time that you do allocate. And so I give 100% for 4 hours and the rest of my day is connecting with people out in the world. And I'm always on, but I'm never like on calls for 16 hours a day unless I'm going for a big goal or a run.
Yeah. I love that you said that because I think sometimes, especially like with social media and things like that, it makes people be like, I don't have time for that. I can't invest in that. And it looks like we're doing so much more, but we're being so intentional with what we're doing that it's showing that it makes it look that way when it's really not.
Yeah. People all the time I get like, oh my God, you look so busy. I'm like, I should make it look like I really don't do as much as I do because I'm not that big. Like I have time.
But it is a hard misconception that makes people be like, I don't have time for that. But everybody could be doing this and weaving it in.
Yes, even Lynn Hagedorn in 2 years went millionaire. She worked 1 hour a day every single day, but it was a very focused hour. So it's always possible, no matter how much time you have.
I love that. What has like the financial freedom aspect? And I know you're not completely to freedom, you're still getting started, but what has the financial piece done for you?
You know what it's done for me? It's given me it's more the time freedom for me, like to be able to come home for an entire month and work from home and like see my family, spend time with my family. But financially, seeing residual income come into my bank account a couple weeks ago, I just checked out. I was like, I'm not working. I'm not posting on social media. I am not doing anything. I am just going to relax this week. I was like, I needed it. And I made more money that week than I have in a very long time. And that was so powerful for me to see the hard work that I've been putting in for the last year to really just see the finances coming in, even if I don't show up for work one day or show up for business. And it was like, it just made my heart so happy because I was like, that means I'm actually impacting lives and those lives are impacting lives. And that's really what it's all about. So.
Yeah, and like so many people talk about too, that safety net. Like you have no idea what's going to happen in the future. It also gives you that safety and that protection that if something were to go wrong, that you still have that coming in, which is so huge. Because I think a lot of people are like, oh, I'm good. I'm like, you might be good now, but you have no idea what could happen in the future too.
Oh my gosh, really I've had girls that show up and they enroll and then they're like, oh my gosh, I just got fired from my job. What do I do? I'm like, that's great. This is perfect timing for us to take advantage of you being able to create an income at any time or place that you want. And so it's kind of scary. I've had so many people be like, oh, they're letting people go at my job. I'm like, yeah, exactly. Like this is such a gift that we have, really.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about network marketing in general? Because for me, like before I was exposed to Isagenix, I like didn't know anything about network marketing. I didn't really even care. Because I was just focused in like the beauty industry. For you, what has been your favorite part, like learning about it?
I think that my favorite part is because I knew nothing either. I literally didn't get it. I just like, what is this? Like a pyramid thing? Like I knew nothing. Realizing how big of an industry this is and that it's a legitimate profession and it takes skill and it takes self-development, personal development, it takes hard work, it takes relationship building, it takes leadership, it takes enrollment skills. It literally encapsulates everything. But it's such a beautiful model because you don't have a high investment in the beginning. You're getting healthy and using amazing products as you go. Like just seeing how much this can impact the average person like myself who has no experience to come in and be able to create like any life that I want at any income that I choose. Like that's what I love the most, is just seeing it impact my life and then just spreading that to other people and seeing it impact their life. That it's just incredible.
And that you're getting paid as you're learning, you know?
Oh my God. sometimes I still just make a fool of myself. Like I sound so stupid sometimes on the phone and it just always ends up working. I learn something every single time.
Which is great too, because you have to like stop every single time almost and be like, okay, let me reflect on this so I'm not doing the same bad habit over and over. Like I'm constantly getting better and like pivoting to the next direction. How long have you been in Isagenix, by the way?
15 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So I feel like I'm still brand new. Like I always give it, like, I think of it as a 10-year journey just to create like a little bit of mastery in it. And I'm like 1.5 years in, I'm just a baby. I'm just getting started.
Yeah. But that's the fun part, is like, imagine where we'll all be at in 10 years. That's why I'm always like, girl, join me, get on this now, because
I'm like, it's either now or later.
Yes. Exactly. At some point, I'm like, every single person you know is going to join you, so you might as well start now.
Seriously.
What has been like your hardest part, or most frustrating, or just feeling challenging, and how have you overcome it?
In the beginning, it was getting told no. It was like the no's really hurt me. And now they don't affect me anymore. They just roll off my back because I know no's it's just they don't have enough information. They're not open. They'll come back. Like that doesn't worry me. I don't really care what people think of me anymore. But the most challenging part is the choice to always show up. Like some days in this business, it's just like being consistent. Being consistent has been challenging for me. Without having a full-time job and doing only this, when I have my entire day, it's like I almost have too many options. And it's like, well, what do I do all day? Like I could book calls or I could like go do something fun. So I'm 23. Like my prefrontal cortex isn't even fully developed. Sometimes I'm like, I just want to go do something fun, like surf or whatever. I live on the beach. Like I live in the most beautiful city in the world. And so being consistent, I'm really disciplined. And I work every day on my business no matter what, but sometimes it's when you're your own boss, you can get a little hard on yourself. And so you're always, I always personally will like beat myself up if I go do something fun instead of do a call, something like that. So it's more the consistency aspect in the last couple of months has been something I'm working on.
Do you know what color you are on the color code test?
I'm a red.
You are? I was like, yellow, because you just want to go have fun.
Yeah, I know. Recently, I'm more yellow now. I'm getting like pulled into the yellow, but I'm like, I like my red. I'm like 90% red, I'm pretty sure.
I'm a red.
Yes, love it.
What has been the most rewarding part?
In the beginning, it was the money, because I couldn't like see past me. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like able to make money in this. And it was at my first year mark, and all of a sudden it like clicked. I was like, this is literally not about me. Like this, it took that long for me to be like, this has nothing to do with me. It is the impact that I've been able to see in other people, because I'm finally getting to that leadership stage. The first year, I feel like for me was just enrolling people and like figuring out what I'm doing and like being so in my head. And the second year has just been so much about impact and like seeing the lives that are changed, being in person with those people. And whether it's physically or financially, it's so magical to see. So the most fun part is the impact in the community.
Yeah. Do you have like one specific person or story you want to share that is like an amazing moment, whether it was their health journey or their financial journey of one of the people you've helped?
Yes. Two, actually. So I'll be quick. First one is a girl named Jade. She's one of the biggest leaders on my team. I reached out to her the first week I started Isagenix, and she texted me and said, please don't reach out to me about this. I'm not interested. I could never do what you do. 9 months later, she reached out to me and said, hey, I've been watching you. What are you doing? I want to start. She got started, and she has just she went crystal manager right away. She's on her way to director. She's literally 2 or 3 months in, and she's already made a couple $1,000s. She's a girl from Montana. She absolutely crushes it. That's like phenomenal. She's going to most likely qualify for Disney and be able to take her entire family on a trip. So excited for her. And then the second one is a girl named Mackenzie. I just went to Texas last week to visit her family because her entire family has been on products, had such amazing experiences, and being in that living room with her family and all of their friends and presenting to them and just seeing the impact that it was leaving on that Texas home was like, I cried at the event. I was like, I'm really sorry. I'm not meaning to get emotional. This is just what I've wanted for so long. So those are probably the two biggest.
Yeah, because that must be so fulfilling for you, especially like going back to that moment of walking off stage and being like, nobody's here. This isn't the impact I want. To that moment, you are probably feeling like complete alignment.
Oh, it was amazing. So good.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, last question, then I want to go into a couple of power questions real fast. But do you our team is huge with like law of attraction and like daily rituals, things like that. Do you have any daily rituals in place that you just love that you want to share with anybody?
Oh my gosh, my morning routine. It's like everything for me. I wake up, I have a cup of celery juice. It's really gross, but it's really good for your digestive system. I will read 10 pages of a personal development book. I will meditate for 5 minutes because I'm a red and like 5 is more than enough for me to like not focus on anything. And then I will do some affirmations, a 15-minute affirmation video. I can even link in this video. It's a great one. It's like an I am statement, and it just keeps going over different I am statements. And then I will journal for about 15 minutes. And then I will do my gratitudes and everything I'm grateful for, things I love about myself, things that are going to be great today, and things I loved about yesterday. And then I get ready for the day and I go. But that's like my favorite routine.
And then where do you set time? Where do you block time for like your income producing activities for Isagenix?
So my like power time, I follow the Ayurvedic clock. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but my power like fire hours are from 10 to 2. So I'll do my morning grounding stuff from like 6 to 8. I'll kind of just dilly-dally, do some errands or something from 8 to 10, and then 10 to 2 I'm like on it. And then maybe even 4 to 6 or 4 to 7 at night I'll do some more calls when people get home from work. But just really bringing like an energetic persona to the conversations is really fun from 10 to 2 for me.
I love that. All right, so last things, I'm going to just ask you a couple of like quick questions and just whatever comes to mind. What's your favorite product?
Oh, Ionix.
Yeah, I love Ionix. Favorite shake flavor?
Dairy-free vanilla chai every day with greens.
With the greens? Really?
Oh my God. Oh, so good. It's so good.
I love hearing people's recipes because they're always so random. Like yesterday I was talking to one of our girls and she does peach mango shake with the pumpkin spice, which sounds disgusting, but she's going to taste like an apple cobbler.
I can see that. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Favorite leader in Isagenix?
Zach and Eden Slobin.
They're amazing.
They are.
Jim or Kathy?
Both together? Is that possible? I like Kathy's shoes. Her shoes are always phenomenal. I'm like, Kathy's shoes.
I'm on her arms.
Oh my God. I'm like always like, come on, I wish I could get like that.
Eric or PETA?
PETA.
She's the best.
She's amazing.
Yeah. Favorite podcast?
For the Love of Money by Chris Harder.
Totally. The best. He's the best. I love Chris Harder.
These are such good questions.
Chris Harder is probably my favorite leader in Isagenix.
He was my first exposure to Isagenix before I knew of Isagenix, actually.
Yeah, because of his podcast?
Mm-hmm. I had no idea he was with it. I was like, how does he make his money?
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like I've heard that a lot about Lori Harder too. People had no clue, you know?
Yep.
Favorite book?
Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker.
Yep.
Or Earth is Hiring by Peter Kelly. They're tied.
Yeah. before Isagenix, who has played the role as your biggest mentor in your life? And this could be like a friend, it could be someone that you don't even know, but who has like made a significant role?
My father, biggest
Wow.
influence in my life.
Yeah. Do you have a specific reason?
He is just the most magnificent man I've ever met. He is such a genuine heart. He works so hard for everything that he has, and he is just such a giver, and that he loves being a dad, and I could just feel his love throughout my entire growing up more than anything. And so feeling that love, I believe like allows me to give that love to other people.
Mm-hmm. I love that. What does the word freedom mean to you?
Ooh, favorite question. Freedom to me means being able to say yes to anything at any time, whatever I want, I get to do it.
Yep, I love that. What do you want to create from your financial freedom? Like, I love how all the like amazing leaders in Isagenix, it creates leverage just for the next step. So what do you want to do after this?
My big focus, I would love to support my parents in any way that I can. Obviously, that's like a given. I would love to start giving more. I already give as much as I can, but I would love to be able to give massive amounts to charities that I really believe in. I know the Isagenix Foundation is going now, so I'm really excited about that. I would love to take some trips to like Uganda, Africa. I have some friends that go over there, and I would love to start giving back, because I know in Chris's podcast one time he read 30 books in 30 days, and he said the main theme of all of those books was giving, and that the most successful people in this world give. And so I'm really focusing out now rather than in, and the more that I do that, the more I realize giving has such a return on investment. And so I'm just really excited to be able to give more with my financial situation.
I love that. It's so powerful and so true. And I love that it's like a core value of Isagenix.
Mm-hmm.
What's the best advice you've ever been given by Zach and Eden?
We'll see. They always say that with everyone, even with me still. We'll see. We can get really excited about people. Network marketing is really about being unattached to the outcome. And so I think that I, in the beginning, was really attached. They taught me like, no matter what, you can be excited and run to the top with everyone, act like you're running to the top with everyone. But in the end, like, we'll see.
We'll see who actually does it.
Yep, yeah. Be unattached to the outcome.
It's so true. The people who you think will do it don't, and the ones who you don't think will.
So true. If I looked at me before Isagenix, I would have been like, that girl's not doing anything.
You're like, don't invest your time in that girl. No, but it's so powerful. It's so true. And people that might fall off now, you just never know. 3 years, all of a sudden they could come out of nowhere. And
I know. I've even had people come back.
Yeah.
It's so wild.
Every day I wake up, I'm like, universe surprised me. You never know.
I love that.
Yep.
I love that. So good.
Okay, so any last advice you want to give to anybody watching this that is either sitting on the fence or maybe has just been a product user, like to really help them see the big vision of what this can do for their life from your perspective?
Yes. My advice to you would be just dive in and actually give yourself a chance, because I see so many people come in and they say, oh, I asked like a couple people and they don't want to do it with me. I got told no on probably 20 three-way calls before I had my first 2 people enroll. So really look at this. Like if you were to talk to, I know someone says this, Susan Miller always says, would you be willing to talk to 100 people and get told no 100 times if the 101st person that you talk to ended up being an Isagenix millionaire? Mm-hmm. And if you're that committed to success, financial growth, being able to give back, whatever you're passionate about, whatever your vision is for this world, I know Isagenix can supply that for people. It's just a matter of how resourceful and how committed they're going to be. So if it excites you at all to like take a look at Isagenix more, we're just here to supply the information and make sure that you feel like you're comfortable enough to get started. We're not here to sell you or push you into doing anything that's not comfortable for you, but we're also going to push you out of your comfort zone if you decide to do it, because that's what this is all about. So embrace the journey, and it's such an exciting one.
I love it. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I still can't believe you're only 23 years old. I'm so pumped for you and to watch you just like unfold completely in this journey with Isagenix. And I'm glad we're in this together. I can't wait to see what happens for the future for all of us.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so amazing. It was so good to meet you in face to face.
Stop the recording. Bye, guys.
Bye.